Hello, everybody, and welcome back. So, today I thought I would share with you a little walk I took in the forest last week, really just to talk about when I'm choosing different shutter speeds and why and what I'm doing during that open shutter. So, just to get started, here we are actually in the forest, and this was kind of the first little compositions that I noticed. So, I'm just crossing over this little road, and I just noticed these different trees and the colours behind them. So, I'm kind of zooming in, imagining what this would look like if I make a camera movement on it. So, let me then show you the image that I ended up with was this one. There are a couple, so you can see I've just done four. This was the first one. I was kind of pleased with that. And you can see over here as well, I just wanted to show this to you that this is on 2 seconds. And this is the next one. And I kind of preferred that. I almost liked the fact that we've got this tree to the left fully in the image. And obviously these are not edited. That's the other thing I wanted you to see what is possible without doing any real editing. So let me whiz through some of these. I am going to share these with you another day. Let me just show you these ones. So then I walked on a little bit further. I absolutely loved the texture on the fir trees up there. So I kind of tinkered around a bit. That wasn't enough movement on that one. I really loved that one and this one. So these are probably, I haven't even flagged that one up, but this one I really love. And you can see I've now flicked to 4 seconds. Then I noticed we'd got some flowers across the road, so I paused there. We're now back on 1 second, partly because I'm making decisions based on the environment. This is a road going through here. There were quite a few cars coming through, and what I was finding was that if I went to 4 seconds, which I would have preferred, that I just kept catching cars going through. So I'm always making decisions based on what's actually just going on around me. Not, so it's never random. It's never just to match my movement. Sometimes it's because the trees are moving, so they're offering me some movement and then I'm making my own movement on top. That was another one. I kind of liked the way that I'd caught the flowers in that one, but preferred the trees in this one. So, we could do something with that. I'm going to edit some of these in a moment. And that was again, that was on 2 seconds. Oh, that was on 1 second, then I went to 2 seconds. Oh, then I noticed I came back across the road, so I've stepped back onto the tracks. I'm always just looking around me, looking everywhere. And I noticed on the track there were some people moving around, and I really was fascinated by this tree as well. And the trees were starting to rustle a tiny bit. So I thought, I wonder how I can play with that with my movement as well. So very often I'm rocking on my feet as well as panning at the same time. And you can see we're now on 2 seconds, probably because I'm responding to the environment, thinking there's a bit of movement going on here with the trees. I don't want it to be a complete blur out, so I'm just going to make that a little bit faster than my favoured 4 seconds. Then I stepped back and thought, wow, this is actually the trees down there are incredibly tall. It's just so beautiful. So I kind of stepped back. So now I'm holding the camera at a different angle and I'm just messing around with panning up and just elongating those tree trunks. So slightly different effect. You can see it's the same tree, but how different when you're on a a different focal length. So now we're at 2 seconds. And then these people were coming along, so I thought, okay, that's kind of interesting. I'm going to play with that. So there's now less upward movement because I'm wanting to create some movement on them. So I usually pan up and push in towards the scene. And notice that I've now sped up the shutter to 1 second because they're in motion. So I need to adapt for their movement. It's not just me moving. So a faster shutter speed, less movement on my part, or a different movement. That was not a successful one. I wanted to show you that. So then I've not managed to synchronize with their movement properly. So then they've ended up almost like ghosts, although it kind of work. You could possibly edit to do something with it. But that's the difference between that successful movement synchronizing with the shutter speed, my movement, and their movement. That's really what it's all about, rhythm and timing and synchronicity between the three. So now further up the track, 4 seconds. because I'm wanting to capture the texture on that tree. I love the texture on the conifers. So now I'm wanting to have time to pan up and push in and rub and just keep rubbing. So I'm catching some of that gorgeous texture on this little tree. This is the same tree that I did an image with earlier in the year, actually. So we do something with these, I'm always looking for having subjects off in the distance as well. So again, a pan up and rubbing. So a nice long 4 seconds to give me lots of time to make multiple movements in that open shutter. And I would draw your attention to the number of images. There are not thousands of images here, and I've walked some way along the track and back, and I haven't deleted any. And just to prove that, if you look at the date and time of the originals, this was 10:11 in the morning when I finished. That was the last image, 10:16. And if we go back to the beginning, right back at the start. So that was me recording in the phone there. So let's start at number three when I actually started moving was at 9:25. So in 45 minutes, I have caught those images. There are not hundreds of them. You don't have to do that. And I will edit some of these later and add them to this video so you can see what they looked like. I'm going to be coming back to this next week and talking about how I notice these compositions. I hate using that word because to me it's just the world, but I will talk about that next week because I've got some really interesting neuroscience for you that might really help you out. So I thank you for being here. I will see you again next week. Bye, everyone. And what actually happened was I was seriously ill a few years ago and I had to find other ways to do this. So I started just experimenting and putting together methods and techniques where I could create these images without standing there for ages doing the same movement over and over again because it's not physically possible for me to do that.